What is up, everybody? Skratch coming up with another Raid Shadow Legends video. How you guys probably know already, Palladium announced yesterday the 2 new bosses for the Doom Tower for the new rotation, which is gonna drop in 7 days. That's exactly how much time we have left till the new rotation, guys. So in this video, we're gonna have a quick look at the bosses. We're gonna have a quick look at their skills because, yeah, they do look pretty insane. And I want to give you that edge. I want to show you some strategies, talk about some strategies that will give you the edge and prepare you for the new bosses, right? Because we only have 7 days left. And of course, we're going to talk about the best champions. Which champion's value is going to skyrocket with the new content, guys? Because usually, whenever we get new content, a lot of champions that they were just guarding the vault are coming out for a play, right? So we're going to have a look at what champions are going to skyrocket. Now, before we jump over to talk about that, guys, I just want to let you know, if you enjoyed the music you hear in the video, I partner up with Soundstripe, which is a royalty-free music library. So if you're a content creator, a music enthusiast, or you're just looking for some new music, guys, feel free to check them out. I will be leaving the link in the description down below and in the pinned comments. And you can use a code Skratch on checkout to save a 15%. Now, let's have a quick look at what exactly are these bosses doing and how are they looking. The first boss we're going to have a look at, guys, is Astronyx, the Dark Fae. We've already seen how the champions are looking in the What's Next in Raid video, right? I wish that I would have some of these bosses as champions in game. They look badass. Same with the key bosses. They really look cool. She is gonna be badass, guys. Like, I'm looking forward to actually build teams to be this boss. The second boss, the final boss, is Domal the Dreadhorn. He looks pretty badass as well. Very different. Finally, the bomb champions are coming in a play in a way or another. We'll be seeing in the next couple of weeks how efficient they are against this boss. And we have his minions, Dread Bombs. They're literally bombs. There might be 2 bombs or more. It's not really specified if it's a maximum of bombs. I think it's 2 though. And then looking quick at their skills, guys. So on Fae right here, on the A1 attacks all enemies, 100% chance to place Leech debuff on each enemy for 2 turns. On the A2, again, attacks all enemies, steals 1 random buff from each enemy according to the number of magic champions on the enemy team. 1 buff for each magic champion. So this skill right here kind of comes in play with all the affinities. So each affinity we're gonna take in against this boss is gonna affect us somehow, right? On the second one, steals thermometer for each enemy according to the number of force champions on the enemy team. 10% thermometer for each force champion. On the next one, has the 25% chance of placing a True Fear debuff on each enemy for 1 turn. The chance increases by 25 for each Void champion on the enemy team. And the last one, heals Astronyx by 10% for her max HP for each Spirit champion on the enemy team. So, seems like a lot of fun, right? Either heal reduction, either avoid bringing in Spirit champions. With the rest of them, you can kind of play around, right? But with this one, with the Spirit ones, either you have heal reduction, either you don't bring Spirit champions against this boss. The A3 attacks all enemies. All living allies will team up and join this attack. Damage increases by 25% for each living ally. So what it means, guys, with the next skill, she's gonna mirror copy all your team. So the more of them they're gonna be alive, the higher the damage. 25% for each one of the living ally that she steals from you, which is gonna be crazy. The A4 banishes 1 enemy champion and spawns a mirror copy of them onto Astronyx's team. Places a fear debuff on all enemies for 1 turn. Increases Astronyx's dark energy counter by 1. Now, increasing that dark energy counter by 1 is a bit of a problem. This is gonna be on a 4 turn cooldown. You can resist the fear, you can cleanse the fear. Honestly, I feel like whenever we're getting new bosses, Doom Priest's value is just skyrocketing more and more, making her like one of the best champion for the Doom Tower in terms of bosses. Honestly, I feel like Doom Priest, she is so essential in order to beat this without having a huge struggle. So if you have a Doom Priest, guys, make sure you're investing in her because she's just awesome. Now, the first passive, Fae Mirror, places a perfect veil buff on Astronyx the Dark Fae for 3 turns and spawns mirror copies of all enemies onto Astronyx's team at the start of the battle. Summons mirror copies of all enemies onto Astronyx's team every time her dark energy counter reaches 5. That's the problem with the dark counter. The more turns she gets and the more often she's gonna use the A4, the more she's gonna duplicate all our team, and that's gonna create a problem because her A3 comes in play as well here. Whenever she's gonna mirror all our team, she'll be doing tons of damage. So we're gonna talk about some possible strategies for this as well, guys, to deal with it and to make it a bit easier for us to beat the boss. Also, places a perfect Veil buff on Astronyx the Dark Fae for 3 turns every time her Dark Energy counter reaches 5. Astronyx Dark Energy counter resets after each time after it reaches 5. So the rest of the passives, guys, are like similar with the rest of the bosses we already have. You cannot use enemy max HP hitters as efficient because it's only 10% damage, 50% turn meter control only, immune to provoke, fear, etc. All the rest of the things. Now let's talk about some strategies that are gonna work great against this boss and what are gonna be some of the best champions to use against it, right? So cleansers are gonna do a great job to remove the fear. AoE hitters are gonna be amazing as well because we wanna kill those mirror copies as soon as possible and we wanna control them, right? So if we don't have enough damage power, we wanna have CC, we wanna have freeze, we wanna have a stance, we wanna have as many debuffs on the enemy team as possible. Decrease speed, decrease turn meter, decrease accuracy, decrease attack, decrease defense, anything that helps us to kill that enemy team. So buff strippers, they're gonna be amazing against it as well. Ryan the Conjurer, Ray, because she freezes, she has 3 AoE attacks which deal tons and tons of damage, for example. Madame Series, I don't have to say, with that defense down, strip the buff so we can actually remove the veil from the boss so she's not hidden. We can actually deal more damage on the boss with single target hitters as well. We have Setalia, which is gonna be awesome as well because she does heal us a bit, boosts a bit the turn meter, decreases a bit the turn meter on the enemy team as well. So all these buff strippers, they're gonna be amazing against this boss, guys. But I feel like Doom Priest as a cleanser, she's just skyrocketing more and more and more. So if you have a Doom Priest, for example, guys, I'm quickly gonna show you some champions. And what is it? Night Revenant. She's just awesome. So definitely build her. This passive is amazing. We have only one more champion in the game that kind of does what she does, and that's Tuhanarak, Void Legendary Champion. Definitely not as accessible, right? So she's doing a very similar thing as well. She's very powerful as well, but then she buffs the team quite a bit. So against this boss, I would suggest you maybe to try and use champions that don't buff as much, right? You might want to avoid having too many buffs because of the boss's A2, right? Now, talking about AoE hitters, right? Any AoE damage hitter will be great to kill the mirror copies as soon as possible. But if you don't have the manpower, right? So I feel like the best and the ultimate best champion that's gonna skyrocket in here is Big Gun, guys. Why? 3 AoE attacks, and we have decreased speed, decreased turn meter on the A3, right? So we can decrease the speed on the boss to make sure the boss is not gonna take as many turns, so it's not gonna keep on copying our team over and over again, putting us in an awkward situation, right? We have the A2, stun on the mirror copies if we can kill them, and we have decreased accuracy. Having decreased accuracy on the boss will ensure that we can go in with like 200 plus resistance and resist that fear without having to worry about it, without really stressing in and be like, wow, I'm gonna need Doom Priest. I don't have Doom Priest, I can't do it, right? So I feel like Big Gun is gonna be such an awesome champion to go against that. Hundig is gonna be super awesome as well. Was a recent fusion as well, guys. Tons of damage from this champion. When he kills with the A1, he resets the skills. You're pretty familiar with it, right? We have the HP burn as well, which is gonna be great against this boss too, because of all the mirror copies of the champions. So overall, HP burn is gonna be good. Dragstar is gonna be pretty good here as well with the provoke from the skill. Now, the only problem when we're talking about CCing the mirror copies, right? Because whenever the boss uses the A2 and attacks with all the mirror copies, the more champions are alive on her team, the damage is gonna be higher by 25% for each one of them. So Madame Series is gonna be great to land that defense down, remove the veil from the boss. But then at the same time, you wanna have a stun, you wanna have a freeze. So whenever she uses the A2, the mirror copies, they don't get a turn, right? Because they're gonna be CC'd. So you're not getting so much damage overall if you don't manage to kill them, of course. So having, for example, a Psyler. Psyler again is an awesome champion, guys. So her value is gonna skyrocket with this as well. Where is she? We have the A1 AoE. On a stun set, she's gonna be beautiful. On the A2, AoE decrease accuracy. Again, the same situation with the boss. On the A3, decrease speed, decrease turn meter. Again, This is gonna help us a lot. So if you have a Psyler, guys, consider in starting building her for the Doom Tower, because overall she's an awesome champion, but she's gonna be even better now. Luria with the freeze, she's gonna be pretty good. Now, block revive or any sort of thing like that is not gonna work against any of the new bosses, guys. But freeze is gonna be pretty good. We do have heal reduction here as well, so she is Spirit Affinity. If you are planning to bring in Spirit champions against this boss, I strongly suggest you try to have heal reduction, because if not, the boss is gonna heal over and over again whenever she's using that A2 skill. Ray, I showed you Ray already, or I haven't. She is awesome. She's gonna strip the buffs, she's gonna CC the waves, and have more AoE attacks from her as well. She deals tons of damage. Champions like these, guys, they honestly gonna be amazing. Especially stun. Astralon, for example, another awesome champion. And he is in the Sacred Order, right? 100% chance to stun right here, guys. And we're landing a weaken as well. We have a revive in case if we need it from here whenever we kill an enemy. Overall, he's gonna be an awesome champion. The only thing I'm not so sure is what's gonna decide which champion is gonna be banished from our team. So the boss is gonna pick one champion from our team and is gonna banish it and make a copy of that champion on her team, and we're not gonna be able to use that champion. So we gotta figure that out and make sure we're putting like the weakest champion on her team. A champion that's not so important for our own team to be able to beat the boss, right? Because that's kind of gonna create us a bit of an issue there. So once we find that out, it's gonna be awesome. So a quick recap here. We want stuns, we want freeze, strip buffs, more or less for the boss. It's not as important as long as we have a lot of AoE hitters. The main idea, guys, is CC, decrease speed, decrease accuracy, control a bit the turn meter as much as we can on the boss. And she's gonna be a pretty straightforward boss to beat, right? Other champions that are gonna be amazing here, guys. We're getting one of them for free, actually, after 7 days. Ninja, right? He's gonna be great for his A3 right here, for the freeze, the HP burn. He's gonna deal a bit of damage as well. So overall, he's not gonna be a bad champion to use in here. Bellower, for example. So everybody loves Bellower, right? Rare champion. He's gonna be amazing on a stun set, for example. 3 AoE attacks. He'll be doing a great job in there. He has pretty good debuffs as well. Another champion that would be amazing. And yeah, everybody loves this champion. Like, I'm not gonna take that away. Miscreated monster, right? We have the stun here, we have the shield. So probably you might wanna switch this off if you're doing it on auto, because you don't want the boss to steal this buff from you, right? If she steals the buff, he's kind of like that because of all the damage you're gonna deal. With ally protection, it kind of kills him. Same situation for the faction wars as well, guys. But he's another awesome champion. There are many other champions that are gonna be good, guys. This is kind of like my initial thoughts, guys. My first impression looking at the boss, right? Now, talking about the next boss, he's a bit different, right? Bomb champions are coming into a play. His passive states like this. Bomb Ball receives 200% more damage from bomb debuffs. Now, for whoever is familiar with War Mother, her skill already says her bombs will deal 100% more damage against bosses. At least against the current bosses we have right here. I'm not sure how it's gonna synergize with this boss, but the main idea is her extra 100% damage against bosses was trash, right? Was literally meh. So I'm really hoping that all that extra damage from bombs is gonna be something noticeable and is actually gonna make us use bomb champions against this boss, rather than be like, no, it's barely any damage, so you don't get a benefit from having a bomb champion. You know, that's kind of the idea. I know not everybody has bomb champions, and yeah, it's not recommended to be stuck on that single debuff in order to be the boss. But I'm just saying, like, if you're trying to make a boss that's kind of gonna be related with bombs, make it at least noticeable. The damage that the bombs are gonna deal on the boss, make them feel like, yes, I'm gonna use a bomb champion against this. I wanna use my bomb champion. I wanna build my War Mother or my Astrolith, you know? Now, let's have a quick look at the skills, guys. We do have the minions here as well. And I'm not 100% sure if it's a limit on how many bombs this boss can actually place. Is 2 a maximum or is more, right? But let's have a quick look at the skills. On the A1, attacks all enemies, decreases bomb debuff detonation countdown by 1 turn, also instantly activates any HP burn debuff on each target and decreases the duration of those debuffs by 1 turn. Now this A1 is pretty nasty. Having HP burn bombs can cost you a lot. The A2 attacks all enemies, places a HP burn debuff on each enemy for 3 turns. That's a long ass turn for 3 turns to have HP burn on you guys. It can give you quite a lot of damage to the entire team. The passive effect, enemies receive 100% more damage from HP burn debuffs for each bomb debuff they are under. So here comes in play like, wow, you don't want to have bombs, you don't want to have HP burn because that's going to be dangerous. That's on a 3 turn cooldown. The A3, Rain of Bombs, removes all buffs from all enemies, then attacks them. Places a bomb debuff on each enemy that detonates after 2 turns. Places 1 additional bomb debuff for each buff removed by this skill. The bomb debuffs cannot be blocked or removed. So here again, guys, having too many buffs can cost you a lot, right? At least if the boss gets to remove the buffs. It doesn't say it cannot be resisted. Now, the bombs cannot be blocked or removed. You cannot cleanse the bombs. So cleanser is not as great against this specific skill, but it's great against the HP burn, which you do want to remove, you know? Then it's not as great to have immunity because you cannot block the bombs, but you can block the HP burn, kind of the sort of situation. The main idea is you want to have resistance on this boss, 100%. Decrease accuracy again on the boss will help you a lot, but having resistance will ensure that the boss won't be able to steal buffs from you, won't be able to land HP burn on you, won't be able to land bombs on you. And especially that the A1 is the skill that decreases the cooldown of bombs and of the HP burn, detonating it is such a huge problem. That's why you really want to avoid having all those debuffs on your team, right? Now, we're going to go down, talk about the rest of the skills, and we're going to talk about more strategies that you might want to use here, guys. Places a 50% increased attack buff on the boss for 5 turns, then summons 2 Dread Bombs and grants an extra turn. The increased attack buff cannot be removed. We all know the more attack, the higher damage from the bombs, guys. So we cannot remove the attack, but we can block it with the block buffs debuff, right? The passive effect summons 1 Dread Bomb every time Bombard's star meter is decreased. You want to avoid at every cost star meter control on this champion. You want to change masteries if you have Evil Eye on your champions. You want to change that. If no, you'll be bombarded by the minions, guys. That's why I'm not 100% sure. Is there a maximum of 2 minions bombs that the boss can have? Or he can have like unlimited. The A5, a passive, each time an enemy places a debuff except bombs debuff on Bombal, places a bomb debuff on that enemy that detonates after 2 turns. So again here, guys, if you're running champions that have different debuffs, like War Mother attack down, he'll be getting bombs. It's going to be very hard to build champions with high accuracy, high attack, high resistance to play against this boss. The bombs he can place from this passive, guys, cannot be blocked or removed. Same with the other skill as well. Each time a bomb debuff detonates on an enemy, has a 100% chance of placing a stun debuff on all other enemies for 1 turn. That's why high resistance is going to be the best strategy against this boss to avoid all this nonsense. And like that, you can actually bring a reviver. Don't worry about cleansers, right? Because the boss won't be able to debuff you. And build a bomb champion suicidal. Keep on landing the attack down with War Mother, for example, and bringing in bombs. Or Astrolith. Astrolith, I feel she's going to be the best champion here. We're going to get increased star meter from her A1. We're going to get unresistible bombs from her skill, right? So that's going to make her pretty good. And having 2 bomb champions is going to be even better. Having champions that decrease the cooldown of bombs, like for example, having a Soul Drinker. He will be huge here as well. Or a Grunge Killjoy. You can make him a bit suicidal with the A1, block the attack up on the boss because of his block buffs debuff from the A1, have bombs, have cleans. Overall, will be a good combo just in case if that 3% chance comes in play as well, you know. Bombal receives 200% more damage from bombs debuff. Now, he has the same passives like the rest of the champions. Turn meter reduction decreased by 50%, which you want to avoid at every cost, because if no minions, they're going to be spawned over and over again. How I specified, we're not sure if he can have a maximum of 2 minions at the same time or more. It's something that we're going to have to find out. Immune to stun, freeze, etc, etc, etc. Now the Dread Bomb skills, guys. Explodes at the start of each turn and deals pure damage to each enemy equal to 40% of this max HP if the Dread Bomb is not under a freeze debuff at the start of the turn. Now here, guys, is not such a big problem. Either you bring a freeze champion, deals pure damage to each enemy equal to 20% of their max HP instead if the Dread Bomb is under a freeze debuff at the start of the turn. So if you're bringing a freeze champion, you're gonna reduce the damage you're taking. If you're bringing Unkillable, if you're bringing block damage, again, you're gonna be safe and sound, right? Because nothing in this skill says he ignores Unkillable or block damage. So if you don't have bomb champions, guys, don't worry, right? You don't have to worry about that because you can come in with Unkillable and survive long against the boss and slowly kill the boss, right? Then, damage inflicted from the Dread Bombs will ignore shield buff. So shield is not really gonna be effective against the minions. The Dread Bomb is immune to all debuffs, effects, and sources of damage except its own skills and freeze and HP burn debuff. So you cannot do anything to control this, like stuns, you cannot provoke it, you cannot sleep it, you cannot decrease speed, you cannot decrease attack, right? You can only freeze it or put HP burn. Now, you don't want to put HP burn, not on him, not on the boss. Fills the Dread Bomb's turn meter by 20% every time it receives damage from a HP burn debuff, right? So having champions that transfer the debuffs back and going without having high resistance is not really a thing, unless you're going with Unkillable. Then you don't really have to worry about it, right? So then you can transfer HP burn, you can transfer bombs back with a Hellier or with a Sanguini or other champions that do that. So like that, you don't have to worry about the minions exploding in your face every 5 seconds, wrecking your team, right? So having Unkillable or block damage with high resistance is gonna be amazing against it because you don't have to worry about transferring debuffs back and you're gonna be able to wreck the boss faster by having HP burn as well and bombs at the same time. So Unkillable, high resistance is definitely gonna be the GOAT thing for this boss. Let's have a quick look at some champions that are gonna be amazing against it, right? So we're gonna start directly with Unkillable champions. Sir Nicholas is gonna be amazing. We do have the Unkillable. We have the freeze as well here. He deals tons of damage as well. We have Roshkar with block damage. He's gonna be doing a great job, right? Then we have Maneater. We all know Maneater. The thing with Maneater as well, guys, is if you're manualing, right, not Oro. If you're manualing, you can actually decrease the turn meter from the minions and get more turns with Maneater, ensuring that you're gonna have Unkillable more often on your team. It's gonna be a bit harder to build him with accuracy and resistance. You might be able to avoid the whole situation with having resistance on your team if you're timing everything right with the boss's skill when he strips buffs, right? But then you're gonna have to manual. It's up to you if you want a manual, if you don't have a better choice, right? I'm definitely gonna go with high resistance, full auto, Unkillable, forget about the boss, and like that I won't have to worry about it, you know? Gyalkat is a decent champion, but I feel like Grunge is gonna be an awesome champion for this boss. We have block buffs debuff on the A1 right here, so we can actually stop the boss to land attack up on himself. We have bombs right here. We have a cleanse on this skill right here, so if we don't have Unkillable or block damage, we can go with champions like this. And we have turn meter whenever a bomb detonates on an enemy. That's gonna be great as well. He has pretty good base stats. Then talking about other champions, guys, from here they're not as many, but talking about Astrolith, right? Maybe she finally found her spot. So places 2 bombs that detonate after 1 turn. This debuff cannot be resisted. That's gonna be huge, guys. We can build her with high resistance. Again, if we don't have Unkillable to keep the champion alive and a reviver in the team. So like this, it doesn't matter. High resistance, bang, she's gonna land those bombs without having any sort of issues. We'll be gaining some turn meter on the team from here. And the A3 is not really gonna be effective against the boss, but hey, once she's gonna drop a lot of HP, we're gonna decrease the cooldown of the skill right here. So that's gonna be pretty good. Now, other bomb champions, of course, War Mother, maybe, just maybe, she's finally gonna find her spot as well. Decrease attack on the A1, and we have places 2 bombs debuff that detonate after 3 turns. That's not that great, but the damage increases by 100% against bosses. So depending on how it's gonna interact with the passive from the boss that gives 200% more damage from bombs, I'm not sure if they're gonna stack, they're gonna be additive, they're not gonna work. I'm not really sure how it's gonna work. And she has the A3, attacks all enemies, instantly detonates all bombs debuff if this attack is critical. That's gonna be pretty good as well. Of course, we have Lord Shazar, we have many other different bomb champions. We have the freeze champions. Rei, she's gonna be decent. She has a very long cooldown, so I don't feel like she's gonna be as effective We do have Ninja as well, guys, which is gonna be pretty badass. He's a free champion. This is gonna be on a 4-turn cooldown rather than higher, same like Ray, and have a 100% chance freeze AoE if we're building this. As long as this champion is targeting the boss in the same way is targeting the ice golem with the minions. So we actually get to freeze the minions. In other dungeons, it's not really doing it. Like in the spider, for example, you've seen it doesn't work great. So hopefully it's working the same like in the ice golem. I'm quickly gonna show you some bomb champions, guys, and freeze champions. So Creep King Ral is not gonna be great with the freeze. If we're planning to have HP burn on the enemy team, right, which I wouldn't suggest you unless you're going with unkillable, it's not gonna be as great. You might be getting in trouble, you know, with all the HP burn, because you cannot control the turn meter on the boss. So the more turns he's gonna get, he's gonna be on high speed on the high stages, and you're gonna struggle there like that. Creep King Ral is not gonna be good because he needs HP burn. Gurgo is gonna be amazing. Shurimani is gonna be good. Tormin is gonna be decent. It's not such a high chance to freeze. But we have Akak the Veteran, we have Luria, Greybeard, Hellfang, other champions that do it. And of course we have single targets right here like Yakarl. We have Sir Nicholas, which I've already talked about. Bomb champions on the other hand, guys, we have Gelkut, we have Talia, which is not really good for it. She's not going to be great for the boss. We have Magma Blood, Malbranch, and we have Traveler. Rare champions that can have bombs. That's just in case if you're wondering what other champions can actually land bombs. But guys, that was all for this video. I am actually looking forward to beat these bosses, get the new set, especially the new Savage set is gonna be amazing. Definitely hyped about it. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. That actually means a lot, guys. And if you're enjoying my content, if you're finding my guides helpful, smash that like button and subscribe and turn on all notifications, guys. I will catch you all soon on another video. Till then, peace out.